most companies that or listeners that own a company probably don't have something that robust in place. And even just thinking about it might,
Sure.
their brain might explode. But what is the approach for that kind of owner? They've got 5 employees. Yeah, they have an employee contract in place. They've got something on sick leave and pay in their contract,
Yep.
but they don't really have a formal handbook that's covering all the items that you listed out, from workplace harassment to, any of the other policies that you mentioned. What's the best approach? It's not to just go hire a labor law attorney tomorrow and pay for all of those things by the end of the week, because you're probably not going to be able to afford it, or it's going to be a shock. What is the
Yeah.
best way to approach it?
Well, and you're right, it is a process. And I would caution against that. It's not as expensive as people sometimes think it is. Um, and like I say, my suggestion would be get started in that process. Like I say, a lot of times meeting with them, that initial meeting is sparking all sorts of things. And then it goes on from there to where it's not like I need an employee handbook, let me call Molly and I'm going to send an employee handbook over to you tomorrow. That's not how it's a lengthier process. It can fall out over time. And so, I mean, I work with clients regularly and understand when they're getting to that point, the cash flow is an issue. And so we can make sure that we have, here's what we need now. A lot of times we'll develop a plan of, here's kind of the most important couple things you need. And then we'll look at this, 6 months down the road or a year down the road, or kind of get in place so that you have a plan to make sure you have all of those items in place when we get there. I will say, we talked about employee handbooks. One of the things probably with newer clients that is almost even before an employee handbook would be a confidentiality agreement. A lot of times non-solicitation, potentially some non-compete, protection of intellectual property. A lot of times those are big concerns of clients that they know about or are not necessarily on their radar.